Hi guys, it is the 11th of May, it is a Friday and it is time for me to do an update. I am Lindsay, otherwise known as Pink Stitcher, and my eyebrows are driving me nuts. Do you ever have a day where you just can't get your eyebrows right? I have a lot to show you today because I started all the things. I looked through all my projects and I couldn't find anything that was particularly calling to me. So I started a load of stuff just to get it out of my system. I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do with my rotation going forward. I am going to change it up a bit. So I'm sort of in that middle point where I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do going on. But as soon as I know, I will let you know. So, I told you about my sampler. I did some work on Ex Machina, and I'm still having difficulty with the grey thread. I have found my two 414, I think it is, that I've got, and they're wildly different. I don't know whether it's a dialogue difference, or whether I've wound the wrong colour onto the bobbin and labelled it as the wrong thing. Anyway, so the first thing I started is Summer Schoolhouse, lesson 1 by Brenda Gervais. This is stitched over 1 on 28 count. It's supposed to be stitched over 1. Let me fold it up actually. And this is 28 count linen, and it is Sheep by XG Designs. I am absolutely in love with this. I don't know whether it's because it uses Gast and Weeks and Classic Colourworks, Crescent Colours or whatever they're called now, or whether it's because it's 1/1. I think it's because it's 1/1. It's so teeny. So I've got the rest of the house to do. I've done this part and a little bird. I've got the bottom border at the rest of the house and the big bird, a couple of letters. I was getting a bit, not burnt out, but just filling in this is a bit monotonous. So yes, it's on 28 count Sheep from XG Designs, which is a beautiful fabric. It is beautiful, and as I say, it's stitched 1/1, which actually is not difficult. I noticed a big difference in stitching this 1/1 than stitching the skin 1/1 on red. I think because the whole thing is 1/1, it just seems much easier. And I'm not having to rechart, which is also much easier. So there we go. The next thing I started was something that I just got in the other day. This is Halloween at Hawk on Hall. By Carriage House Sampling. I absolutely fell in love with that when it came out, and I figured that, you know, it's now a year later, I still kept looking at it, so I got it and I started it right away. This again is stitched on 40 count, and this is White Mustard by XG Designs. This is one of the club colourways. So I've got the first block outlined, and I've got some of the background done and a few gravestones and a snake. this is quite large. It goes all the way long, and that's a fat quarter, so it should just fit on there. And actually I'm stitching it in, it calls for DMC, and there's a conversion on it. There's an alternate list of needlepoint ink silks, but it actually calls for the DMC. So that's the colours for this bloke. They're all Halloweeny colours, oranges, greens, browns. And that needle minder is from Denkai Designs, and it was a very nice gift from Lorna, who is 5 Stitcher. Thank you, Lorna, for my birthday. Right, so that was a day that took me, so I mean it wasn't too bad. I had been doing Springle, or Bingo, which in the Ultimate Cross Stitch group, which I finished on the day that it finished. Actually, I was quite pleased with myself, so I kept up 30 days, which I'm quite pleased with. The idea is that a number is called every day and you do at least that number of stitches. Take a photograph and post your progress. I find that a really good motivator for me, because it gives you a goal. Anyway, the next thing I started, I think I showed this fabric last time. This is Sparkly's fabric, and this is the April Club colour. It's not showing up very well. I'm a bit washed out. It's a lot warmer than that. Do I have a white thing? There we go. Tiny little start. And this is the Garden Club series by Blackbird Designs, and this is Basket of Cherries. So I'm going to do the whole lot. There's 12 of them in total, and I'm going to do them all on one piece of fabric. They're only small. And hopefully it should be fine on that piece of fabric. I might have to change the odd colour, but that's just the start on the border. I'll go that way actually. So there we go. The next thing I've been having some trouble with, I started it on a piece of fabric which is over there, and then had to change my mind because the thread was just not showing up at all. I started it on a dark sand by XG Designs 36 count, and it would just have fitted on that, but I just could not see the colours. It's very pale on this, but it will work, I think. And this is the only pale part, the rest of it's a lot darker. This is the February colourway from XG Designs, and the Prim, this is 40 count again, and it's called Valentine's Wish or something. Glad I found something to put on this actually, because I didn't know what else I was going to do with it. So this is, I don't have the chart, it's upstairs because I was stitching on it. Upstairs. This is the start of Anniversaries of the Heart by Blackbird Designs. And again, it's lots of smaller things that go into a large thing. If you've watched Cozy Egg Designs, she's doing this and she's most of the way through it. It's lovely. The other thing that I wanted to share was I got a sampler in, that a chart for a sampler in, that I have wanted for a very long time. I find it really difficult to source it I couldn't find it in the UK. I could have ordered it from America, but ordering one chart from America, I was going to be paying $15 in shipping for one chart, which seemed silly if I could at all get it in the UK. This is the Smith Sampler by Scarlet House. How pretty is that? I just love this. I've seen it stitched by Nicole of Nicole's Needlework, and it's just beautiful. It's a reproduction. It calls for 46 count vintage autumn gold from Lakeside, but I can't really get Lakeside linen here, but I'll find something similar. And it calls for Belle Soie, silk, dinky dyes, and Gloriana. And there's not that many colours in there actually. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colours. I got this from Arts and Designs. I don't know whether I mentioned this last time or not. I emailed and said, look, you stock other things by Scarlet House. Is there any way you can get me this? Because I'm having difficulty finding it in the UK. She got back to me very, very quickly and said, I'll certainly try. Depends if our supplier has it. If they do, then you will have it in a couple of weeks, and true to her word, I've got it, a couple of weeks. She contacted me and said, it's up in the shop. And I just bought it straight away and I got it the next day. Cheaper than anywhere else and with free shipping. I mean, you can't argue with Arts and Designs are great. I think it's artsanddesigns.com, but I may be mistaken, it may be .co.uk. If you've not had a look at their website, have a look at the website. They're a very good place to get prim reproduction samplers. They do all the permanent samplers. They do a lot of kits. They do memorabilias. They do Heaven and Earth. I think I mentioned this last time, but go and check out their website. What else did I want to say? I have organised my stuff a bit. And I am now using Flosstube bags and rings, and this is brilliant. I'm so happy with how this is working. That's some of the colours for Basket of Cherries. I'm actually missing 2 because I couldn't get them, they weren't in stock, and the other ones are sort of scattered around other projects. I find that, I don't know whether it's just Blackbird Designs, but I find that there's very commonly used colours like Tin Bucket and Cider Mill Brown and stuff like that. They're used in a lot of patterns, so I'm sort of grabbing it from one, putting it in the other. Right, my plan for the next few days is to do a little bit more on Anniversaries of the Heart, just to double check that the colours are going to be okay. Then I am going to put this away and I am going to go back to working on my sampler, my big mystery sampler by Papillon Creations. Try and get most of the middle in and find out what I need to do to fix it. I have the bug at the moment. I have the stitching bug, something rotten. All I want to do is stitch all the things. I'm lying in bed at night, falling asleep, thinking about stitching. First thing I do when I get up in the morning is think about stitching, which is great. I'm so happy when I'm stitching, it's just as great. I think that summer schoolhouse really sort of made me so happy stitching it. I just loved it. I loved it. And sometimes I don't feel like that about my stitching, but it was so cute. I may stitch more things one over one, but we shall see. I'm finding that I'm gravitating towards very high count fabrics, like 36 and 40 count a lot. I just like what the finished thing looks like. I like the tiny little stitches. I like only having to use one thread. It's much neater. Obviously use less thread, and it's just much easier to deal with. I wish I could do chatelaines and mirabilias on high count fabric, but because they're beaded I can't. There's also a bit of an issue with metallics, obviously going to be too thick as well. I think that's about all stitching wise. What else did I want to say? Contracts exchanged on the house yesterday. Completion date is set for the 30th of the month, 30th of May. We should be moving maybe 2 weeks after that. So June is just going to be nuts for me. Probably won't get much stitching done. Because I got a house to pack up and move and a load of admin to do. You forget that you got to redirect your mail and change your address with everybody. You know, there's always something that you forget about, like magazine subscriptions or what have you. You do the obvious things like banks and stuff and then think, oh, but I've not had my magazine for 2 months. Why have I not had my, stitching magazine for 2 months? And realise it's probably at your old house. So yeah, we've got all that to look forward to. I am going to go now. This video did not go on for as long as I thought it would. So I'm going to get some more stitching done before the kiddie gets home from school. And it's Friday. I don't have anything planned for the weekend. Guy's going out tomorrow evening for dinner. So I will have the evening to myself. I'm going to stitch. I'm so happy stitching. I know I keep saying that, but it's just making me really happy at the moment. Which is what a hobby should do. Maybe it's just because I've started all the things. Maybe I should just keep starting things. This is the year where I wasn't going to start anything. Oh. So I started another 2 things, but I can't show them because they're birthday gifts. I will record a video with the finished things and upload it after the people have received them. I know that definitely one of the people, the ladies, watches this podcast pretty much as soon as it's going up. I don't think the other one does, but it's probably better safe than sorry. So anyway, I should be back with some finishes at some point, and I will check in and let you know how I am getting on with my sampler. I'm really enjoying watching Mania videos. Maybe that's why I wanted to start all the things. Okay, right. I will see you shortly. Enjoy your weekend. Last weekend here was 28 degrees and I lay out in the garden for half of the time getting a suntan, and now my foundation is 3 shades too light. But hey ho.